This morning, somebody came to approach me and requested that I should speak something about filial piety. And but I remember that the last time I was here, I had briefly mentioned to you about our recent experience in India, visiting the four holy places in India. And so what I shall do is I shall tie up this experience, especially when I was at Lumbini. Do you know where Lumbini is? How many of you have been there? Lumbini? Huh? Nobody? One. Nobody else? You have not visited the birthplace of the Buddha. You have not visited the birthplace of the Buddha. I have been three times to the birthplace of the Buddha. And on two previous occasions, I did not have the opportunity to stay at Lumbini. But somehow, this occasion managed to stay there for one night. So, early in the morning, we took the opportunity to sit near the spot where the Buddha was born. And while sitting there quietly, then I recall what I had learned, the thoughts arose in my mind, how the Buddha was born. Because I have been putting in my mind the thoughts that this is the place the Buddha was born. So those of you who next time, if you visit those places, holy places, these are the thoughts that you should arouse in your mind again and again. When you are at the place where the Buddha was born, thinking in this manner, this is the place where the Buddha was born. And then you see what happens. Then your mind, you get certain inspiration. Then your mind becomes calm, peaceful. Then there arose this thought, how the Buddha was born. Do you know how the Buddha was born? Do you know how you are born? Now, how the Buddha was born, how he chose to be born is very important. There is an art of rebirthing, where you want to be born. In the case of the Buddha, it is said that there were certain things that he chose. 5 things, 5 conditions. First, he chose to be born. Where was he before he took birth as Prince Siddhartha? Anybody knows it? Where was he? Yes, he is said to have been in Tusita heaven. And he was waiting for the right time, first time. Consider the proper time to be born. Then he also considered the country where he's going to take birth. And within that country, he also considered the kingdom, the city where is more suitable. And then he considered the clan, whether to be born as a Cantonese, as a Hokkien, or to be born as Sinhalese, and what class, what caste, Goigama, oh no, what caste. So, because in India at that time, not only in India, in many other places also, I think some few years back, I have heard among the Hokkiens here, they say that there is Buddha, Hokkien Buddha. And I do not know how far it is true, he said. Anyway, clan here more refers to the caste and the, where. So the Buddha chose to be born in a warrior caste, Kshatriya. And the last factor, and not the least one, is he chose the parents, mother especially. He chose the mother. So did you choose all these things? Before you were born? Were you able to choose all these things? That is why now you regret, misfit, wrong born in the wrong place at the wrong time. So then the thought arose in me that this was how the Buddha considered. Having considered this, he directed his mind, he directed where he would be born. It is not impossible. It is possible to direct one's energy where one is going to take birth. But to do this, you need to train your mind. You need to train the mind. That is why there are some monks now, those who are able to train their minds, especially those who have made certain strong determination to help others, and to come back again and again in certain places. So before the time is up, before the death, they contemplate. Their main contemplation is on death. So that, what is the purpose of contemplation of death? That at the time of death, the mind will be free from fear of death. So when they contemplate on death, at the time, moments of death, their minds are totally free from fear. So when the minds are free from fear, then they can arouse in their minds the thoughts where they want to be born. But with whom, in what family? That depends. Very often, we are born to a certain family, to certain parents, because of our attachment. because of our attachment to them. We may not realize this. We may not become aware of these facts. How we are attached to mother and father. Some are attached, they have positive attachment. They attach in a wholesome manner. They give happiness. They bring happiness to the parents. Some have attachment in a negative manner. They come to take revenge with their parents. To torment them. This is how the Buddha said. To have good children. For parents to have good children, it is a great blessing. It is because of their good karma that they have good parents. Similarly, for children to have good parents, also because of their karma. Similarly, the Buddha has mentioned how between husband and wife, husband gets good wife because of his good karma, and wife gets good husband because of her good karma. Don't think that things happen by chance. Or everything is worked out in heaven. No. It is what we do. That is why when we understand this, when we arouse in our minds and we contemplate on these thoughts, then we can see how if we want to have good birth, if you want to continue your life living in luxuries, in comforts, and to have good parents, then what should you do? Then it is important to know how to fulfill our duties, our responsibilities with one another. It is only by fulfilling our duties, our responsibilities, then we will be able to live in peace and harmony with them. When we violate, because the Buddha, in the enlightened mind, the Buddha was able to see what are the conditions necessary to bring about peace and harmony within one's own mind. And not only that, he knew what were the necessary conditions to bring about peace, harmony within the family. Between children and parents, between husband and wife, between teachers and pupil, between friends and friends, between religious teachers and disciples, and between employers and employees. That is why the Buddha has taught very clearly. So, filial piety plays an important part in our life. But, of course, the Buddhist teachings of filial piety is not the same as that of Confucianism. Confucianism goes to a very great extent obeying parents. Whatever they say, one should obey them. That is why Today, in certain countries, that encourages Confucian's values, like in Singapore, they have encouraged people to observe certain Confucian's values. But they also point out that we have to observe those values fitting for our times. So, what are the Buddhist understanding, Buddhist teachings with regards to filial, how to be filial to our parents, how to respect our parents? This you can find in the sutta, in the discourse given to Sigala Vada Sutta. The Buddha mentions in this discourse 5 duties of children towards parents. What are these 5 duties? The first one is the duty thinking that parents have supported me, I shall support them. This is the first duty of children, of a child towards the parents. Parents have supported me, I shall support them. In what way has parents supported us? Now many children, when they grow up, when they think of supporting of parents, they say, well, I am supporting my parents. How are you supporting your parents? He says, well, I give them $100 every month. Is that the way? Is that the only way that you support your parents? No. The word support here comes in more than one way. How did parents support you? Did they only give money only? From the time you were born, they leave you there crying and they give you 20 cents there, say, son, take. When you are hungry, they feed you. Because you are not able to feed yourself, they feed you. When you are sick, they look after you. They protect you. Now, then when you learn how to walk, you do not know how to walk, they have to walk with you. They have to run with you. Sometimes they crawl with you also. Now, this is how. Even before you were born, we can recall how mother, what they like to eat, because of you, they cannot eat. They cannot eat too much chocolate. They cannot eat certain things that they like too much. Otherwise, you will become too big. You see? What they don't like to eat, they have to eat. Where they like to go, they cannot go. They are restrained. They have to restrain themselves. Where they don't like to go, they have to go. So there are many things, many sacrifices which the mother has done. So when we consider these things, that is why we have our highest respect and regard for our parents, for our mothers and fathers. And then From the time we were born, how many times we were sick and how many times they have to look after us. Now considering this, when we think about this, then naturally the thoughts of gratitude will arise in our minds. You see. Of course, when we think that we have not done our part, then some remorse may arise in our minds. And you must know how to check the remorse. Nothing is too late. If we have not done our part, we can determine, we can resolve to do our part. Not from this year, not from next year. You think next Chinese New Year I will start. Don't start from Chinese New Year only. Start from today. Start from tomorrow. If you have your determination, don't postpone. Now, so we can support our parents. We should support them, not only in material, not only by providing them the food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. These are the basic things. But we support them when they have worries, when they have certain problems. We can be around to console them. And very important support is the spiritual support. The spiritual support. Now you see how many of you now have the opportunity to listen to Dhamma. And how many of your parents have that opportunity to listen to Dhamma? Well, you can say they cannot understand. Well, to understand Dhamma may not mean only to listen to talks on Dhamma. Your parents can understand Dhamma in more than one way. Not merely by listening to talks, Dhamma talks, but by your actions, by your speech, by your conduct, by your example. You can give them Dhamma. They can understand that kind of Dhamma better than some people by force, they want to bring their parents to temple to listen Friday night to Dhamma. Well, that is not the only way to bring parents. There are those parents who are understanding, who can understand that it's a good way to bring them. But if they are not able to understand, if they are not able to understand the language or the dialect in which it is preached, then you must think of other ways by which you can bring them to Dhamma. You see, the difference between Buddhist filial piety and Confucianist filial piety lies in this, that in Buddhism we consider, in fact there is a parable that says that even if the parents are to live for 100 years, and you are to carry your mother on the right shoulder and your father on the left shoulder and go wherever they want to go. When they want to go to Cameron Highlands, you have to carry them to Cameron Highlands. Look after them when they are sick. Clean them. Still, Buddha says that still in that manner one still cannot repay the debt that we owe to our parents. Then, how do we repay the debt towards our parents? According to the Buddhist teachings, if we can pave the way for our parents to go the righteous path, to get into the Dhamma's path, the way of the Dhamma, then we more than repay the debt that we owe to our parents. So this is heart. Great emphasis is placed on the spiritual support, how we can support our parents in a spiritual manner, because it is because of their ignorance that they cling to all kinds of views. Then they cling to their habits, gambling, and various others, unwholesome habits that they have, which they cling to. We cannot shake off these habits. We cannot confront them. It is only with compassion, with wisdom, with patience and understanding that we will be able to win them to the Dhamma. I remember how my grandmother and parents were of the traditional kind of Buddhists. We visit temples, various temples on feast days. Deities, the deities have their feast days on different day, we go there. And then they bring offerings, all kinds of offerings, must have chicken and duck and pork and all that. Then must have different dishes also. And after that, burn peva. Now here you have no opportunity to burn peva. I have to burn peva. So, at that time, when I was when I was taking my mother to all these temples, I also had been teaching Dhamma in the Sunday school. And I have told the Sunday school students that it is not necessary to go to temple and burn papers, Jaws papers and this. It's all not necessary. That is not Buddhism. But someone had seen, one of the students in the class had seen me burning papers. I remember very clearly how I was very shy even to burn papers outside the house. I would look this way and that way when nobody is around. I would rush outside and quickly go back. Even to, I remember when I was young, I would go out with the joysticks outside and pray. And outside, and then inside, and then downstairs, to the kitchen god, and all that. But after having understood Buddhism, then there is a little bit aversion towards this kind of practice. But nevertheless, I still continue to do it. And so this boy had seen it. When I came to class that day and I asked them, you have questions, question time, they asked me this question. He says, you say that Buddhism, to practice Buddhism, it's not necessary to burn this and that. But we saw you the other day at that temple, no? And yes. And I told her, yes. You see, I knew that it is not necessary to burn that. Buddhism says it's not necessary. But I was practicing Buddhism too. Not in burning that. In carrying out the instructions of my mother, my parents, in practicing obedience, respecting them in that manner. Because if I do not do it, then what happens? They get upset. Because they cannot understand. Still they hold that view that this is the way that we must carry on our religious life, because this is how they have been taught from generation to generation. So we must not immediately confront them. Slowly, until they have confidence in you. They have confidence in you. How do they develop confidence in you? Well, after you listen to Dhamma again and again, and you think, you weigh and consider that this Dhamma is useful, then you try to put into practice. When you go back, you change your lifestyle, change your habits. You become more appreciative, more respectful to them. When they nag at you, you keep quiet. Instead of giving them again, you remain silent, listen. Then they will see, very funny. All the time when I talk, one sentence, you gave me 10 sentences. How is it today I give you 10 sentences and I don't have even one sentence back? Then they begin to think, why? What has happened now? And you say, well, I've listened to Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Now they want to know. You see, by coming to temple. So when you come to temple, please don't just think that you come and visit this place only, and that you have nothing better to do on Sunday morning. Instead of wasting time, you just come here and then you go back. Try to, in this kind of atmosphere, in the religious atmosphere, you should arouse some thoughts, some good thoughts to come up in your mind and determine to better, to perfect certain virtues. Every time try to perfect at least one virtue, one thing. But while perfecting this other virtue, you may backslide on some other things. And again, when you come back, look at that and try to determine again to maintain, putting in that effort. Then this is how one practices the Dhamma. The Dhamma should transform our life, should change our habits, our lifestyle, from a more fussy person to a more simple, more understanding person, from a very hot-tempered person to one who is more patient and good-natured, from a very stingy person to one who is more liberal, from one who likes to sleep many hours to one who sleeps lesser hours. This is how we change This is when we live, when we cut the Dhamma. One who gambles every Saturday night, and or Friday night, or Friday and Saturday night, then reduce that. If you cannot give up totally, then reduce. Now, once a month, and then once a year, and then once in 10 years. If you can reduce that way, little by little, but more and more you reduce these things, then you change. Your life becomes transformed. You transform your life. Then that is what the Dhamma is for, really, to change one's life from the life of a lot of conflicts and then to less conflict, to more peace, more happiness. So when we practice Dhamma in this manner, then our parents can gain confidence. Then they will listen to us. Then they will start asking us, what is this, what is that, what is this? We should not immediately give them. To teach, we must teach at the right time, at the proper time, proper place also. So then, that is what wisdom is about. So when we are born also, we must consider the proper time, proper place. So when we can do these things, then parents will have confidence we can change them. And that is how I managed to change the minds of my grandmother, who at 72 had that strong thought that when she dies, she must have those things burnt for her, paper houses, because she has been collecting, cups, small plastic cups, small spoons that little girls play masa-masa. And she take all these things. And I say, why all these things? Well, she says, you can burn this for me. Otherwise, later on I have no cups to use. My next life, no cups, no spoon. But this was her understanding, Very, now can consider very pitiful. No? But that was that understanding. Then later on, and when I became a monk, she was very angry with my mother. Always complained to my mother and says, why do you allow him to become monk? So my mother gets very upset. My mother comes and tells me, see your grandmother tells, always blame me. Now that you have become a monk, he blames me. Then I asked my mother, when I was young, who sold me to Kuan Yin, Avalokeswara? Says, that's your grandmother. Then I says, because when I was young, I was very sickly. So, the grandmother had given me to the Bodhisattva, Kuan Yin. And so I told my mother, now next time she blames you, you tell her, it was you that had given him to Kuan Yin, even when he was young. So now he is going back that way, that direction. No? And so she did that. When she said that, then my grandmother was confronted. And then she realized, I think maybe something wrong. But it's good also that I gave her. You see? And so from that time onwards, she did not complain. She did not blame my mother anymore. She did not blame. And then, now, she begins to see, begins to appreciate. Can't help it, no? Now try to appreciate this life. And then after listening, because I take the occasion every day, before I became a monk, for nearly 2 years, every day I spend at least 1 hour speaking to my mother. Sometimes the same thing. On karma, rebirth, karma, rebirth. These are the main things to understand, to make them understand. If you can pave the way for them to understand about karma, rebirth, so that they are not afraid to die. There is another life. And also understand the life, purpose of life, and some higher values of life. Then this is sufficient for the time being. So, in that manner, my grandmother at 92 was able to give up all these things. The views that she had so strongly, just before she died, she says, no need to burn all those things. Don't burn. I don't want them now. And no need to offer all this food and all these things. But still a little bit behind, a little bit doubt. And so she said, in case you want to offer. And he says, you can just get 1 tin of, vegetable food, 1 tin of vegetarian food, enough. In case. Yes, it's not so easy to give up the views that one keeps in the mind, you see. That is why it is so important, Dhamma, listening to Dhamma, reading Dhamma, contemplating about the nature of life, that will help you to overcome, to give up certain views that you've been holding for a long time, certain wrong views also. Otherwise, we keep these views again and again, from life to life, you see. And that is how the views dictate. And it's a very dangerous, there are some views are very dangerous. It binds us to this world, samsara. So Dhamma can help you to overcome, to straighten out your views about life, about the world. So by slowly bringing your parents, grandparents to Dhamma, this is important. The Buddhist concept of family life should not be confined only to mother, father, brothers and sisters. You should extend this family life to a wider circle. That is why we have what is called Jnati Dhamma. What is Jnati? Jnati means relatives. That we extend to our relatives and then build up further to friends. Then that become one big family. So that duty of bringing members of the family, in Japan, this is what they do. In the newer groups of Buddhist organizations, when I visited them, I have seen how They bring, when the mother comes into Buddhism, becomes a member, she will try her best in whatever ways. She will try to bring the father and the children. And even those, all their ancestors also. Do you know how they bring their ancestors to Buddhism? You do not know. I saw how they did it. Because there is one department where they change the names of their ancestors. They give Buddhist names. And they have a memorial stick. And there is one man in charge there. Do not know, man or priest, I do not know. And he will, and on certain days, he will do some recital. And now that this family is Buddhist, the parents will say, my grandfather is like that, great-grandfather is like that. So they will put the great-grandfather's name, grandfather's name, and then on the wood, and then after that, they initiate them. No? Even though they are dead and gone, only thing you have to pay something for that, that's all. That is how they convert their parents and grandparents into Buddhists. And that's it, they are Buddhists, they have Buddhist names already. And this is how they do it. Whole family becomes. It's very important. They are the family unit. Now, of course, when we talk about the family unit, it is not so easy to convert people in a hurry. But little by little, they do it in a very meaningful manner actually. How I have seen how the parents, the mothers come at certain times of the day. And in one place they call a church, they call it. They don't call temple, they call their church, their branch. As many as 300 women will come in the morning, every day. And then they will sit down in circles and discuss. Discuss what? Discuss bring up their daily problems. And then within the group there is a discussion leader who has been trained. They have different times for different groups of people. And when the husband comes, they talk about what? About their wives and about their in-laws. And when they talk about that, they talk the real problems that they are confronting. The wife says, oh, my husband came back last night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, drunk, and making a lot of noise, kicking here and there. I do not know how to control him. Then another one says, oh, don't worry, mine, I already tamed him 3 years ago, now very tame already. Then you listen, how do you tame him? This is the way you tame him, Another one said, oh, my neighbor was like that, and now he also tame already. Then they can discuss. This is what they call very useful discussion, And this is what you call real Dhamma sharing. Another one said, oh, my neighbor was like that, and now he also tame already. Then they can discuss. This is what they call very useful discussion, And this is what you call real Dhamma sharing. And then the leader, discussion leader, will think how to apply the Dhamma, how to use the teachings of the Buddha, and guide them in their discussion. That's the way. So, this is what, not only to listen, but from time to time to come and discuss. Not gossiping. Don't gossip, but do something very meaningfully. Because nowadays we are living in a society where parents have very little time with one another. Mothers and fathers also sometimes wife hardly see the husband because husband got to go out here and there. Husband also hardly see the wife. Children have very little time with the parents because early in the morning they go to school. They come back and then they have got to go for tuition. They come back from the tuition, they have got to go music class in the night. They come back, the parents are snoring already. So where have they got the time? So it is important for them to come together. And that is why they have the youth time. The youths come on Saturday, Sunday. They come and they meet. And they bring out their problems. They talk about their mother and father. And their teachers in school. So they tell their problems, what their problems are. And then this is how they share their problems. And those who have overcome them will tell them how they can overcome. And if they get stuck somewhere, then the discussion is that this is how we have to apply the Dhamma. So we must also think how we can apply the Dhamma, put the teachings into our day-to-day practice, and how to help one another in that way. Not just listening to Dhamma only, because many of you like to listen to Dhamma, and sometimes you don't even remember what you have listened. It's only when you get together and do that workshop session, then you will recall, you will try to recall what you have learned. So that first duty of children towards parents, what's the duty? Supporting them. Try to bring them to the Dhamma. Not only bringing them to temple, but making them realize that this is the Dhamma, how to lead a righteous way of life, a good way of life, why we should not kill, why we should not steal, why we should not lie, why we should not commit sexual misconduct, and so on. Then the second duty of children towards parents is to help them to carry out their duties. Help parents to carry out their duties. And little ones have to run errands. Not only little ones, big ones also have to run errands for their parents. When mother is cooking, not enough salt, not enough pepper, have to go help. These are helping parents to carry out their duties. And there are other duties which of the parents. Later we will discuss them. Then the third duty of children towards parents is to keep the family tradition. There are certain family traditions that are important to keep in order to maintain the family ties. Simply because some of you have heard the Kalama Sutta. That it is in the Kalama Sutta which says that those who are seeking truth, that truth cannot be found merely in traditions, simply because it has been passed down from one generation to another, truth may not be there. So with this teaching in mind, you say, in that case, all these family traditions, they are all hopeless, meaningless, useless. There's no truth in that, so you give up all those things. No. There are certain. The Kalama Sutta speaks about when you are seeking truth, when you are going the spiritual path, then you should not rely on mere traditions. But when you are living a household life, then there are certain traditions that are important. Then another duty of children towards parents is that they have to be worthy of inheritance. Whatever inheritance, whatever property they have inherited, to be worthy of it. Not only property, whatever they have given you, in terms of clothing, in terms of certain requisites, to use them, to look after them. That is the duty of children towards parents. Then, even after the death, it is the duty of children to do some meritorious actions in the name of their parents and their relatives. These are the duties of children towards parents. Can you remember them? First one is, having supported me, I shall support them. Supporting parents. Supporting parents means supporting in various ways, right? Not only materially, but also spiritually. Secondly, to help them to carry out their duties. Thirdly, to keep the family tradition, certain family tradition. Then fourthly, to be worthy of inheritance, whatever things that you receive from parents, to look after it properly. Then fifthly, to do merits, do some good actions in the name. This is how we fulfill our duties. Fulfilling our duties, then we can enjoy the rights. We have certain rights, certain privileges too. In other words, our parents have their duties towards us too. What are the duties of parents towards children? Firstly, to prevent them from doing bad things. To prevent them from killing, stealing, lying, sexual misconduct, indulgence in intoxicants. These are the duties of parents, to discipline them, refraining them from the evil, and encouraging them to do good, encouraging them to do good, encouraging them to be liberal. When they are helpful to others, when they are respectful to others, then parents need to praise them, encourage them. That is how. And avoiding them evil and helping them, encourage them to do good. Then another duty, to train them, or to train them for a profession. This is what many good parents are doing. They are working very hard to educate their children. And of course there are also some who knows how to produce children. Then after that they leave them, they don't care for them. Then they have not done their duty. And so this little one, these children, when they grow up, they harbor the grudge. Parents have money, but do not want to educate me. And then they come back again and disturb the parents. So, parents' duty to train children for suitable profession. Then another duty, which some children will not agree to, at a suitable time to arrange for suitable marriage. And so it is a duty of parents. But now we have to understand that at least parents should be consulted. If you don't want them to have anything to do, it is actually, they have a concern for that. Then fifthly, the duty of parents to give up or to give their property, share, inheritance at a suitable time, not until the last moments of their lives. But for them to do this, then the children must be deserving already. They must know how to be worthy of inheritance. So you see, in these teachings of the Buddha, you have both the rights and the duties. Not only what are our rights, but we also have to consider what are our duties. And by living in this manner, performing our duties and obligations towards one another within the family, between children to parents, then we can build up our paramis, we can build up our virtues, we can develop our perfections. Parents will pave the way for children to develop their perfections. Children will pave the way for their parents to build up further perfections, virtues. You see, this is actually in the Dhamma. It is in the long rounds of samsara. It is difficult to find somebody who has not been a brother, a sister, a mother, or a father to us in these long rounds of samsara. Therefore, we should not think, simply because they are our children, that we should not think that they are stupid, that they cannot. They can teach us. They have something. So, simply because our parents cannot understand, cannot read, cannot write, don't think that they have no wisdom. They have all the wisdom to bring you up, to make you so clever. Although they cannot read or write. You see what wisdom they have. How they are more clever than you. So when we think in this manner, try to fulfill our basic duties and obligations towards one another. This is what Buddhism, filial piety is in Buddhism. Yes. So now we shall leave some time for questions, if you have some questions. Yes. Anybody has some questions? Any questions? Oh, you will have a lot of questions when you begin to address yourselves. You will see, how can I practice this? My parents are like this, like this, like this. How can I practice that? And parents will say, how can I practice these things? My children won't even listen to me. Whenever I try to talk to him, then he, runs away. So, what to do? Now, you have to think of a way. Think of various ways, not only one way. Various ways how to bring the children. And do you know that man Anada Pindika? How he had a son. And his son was very naughty. His son did not want. He was living during the time of the Buddha. The son did not want to go to the Buddha, did not want to listen to the Buddha. But the father was very rich. So, what did the father do? To encourage the son to listen to the Buddha, the father told the son, if you can just go to the monastery, visit the Buddha, I will give you 10 gold coins. That time they say 10 gold coins or $10, very big. And he said, all right. So he ran to the monastery where the Buddha was. Entered the monastery and quickly come out again. Then says, okay, Father, I have gone to the monastery, $10. That was one. Then the father knew that he had not gone to see the Buddha. He only went inside and came out. Father realized that. So father increased the reward and said, all right, I will give you 1,000 gold coins if you will listen to the Buddha. And he says, oh, 1,000. No? He says, all right. He says, yes. But the father said, you must come back and report to me what you have heard. At least one line, what you have heard the Buddha said. Then this boy says, sure, okay. And he ran again. This time, where did he go? He went right to the front where the Buddha preached, right in front of the Buddha. And in his mind he was thinking, I will listen very carefully to what the Buddha says. The moment I can remember one sentence, I'll commit that to memory and I'll walk out. Then I will go and claim my $1,000. But the Buddha saw him because he was right in front. The Buddha saw him. Why he was so attentive? Then the Buddha realized. The Buddha could see what was in his mind. The Buddha could read his mind, that he wanted. And the Buddha also saw that it was the father who is asking the son to this. Then the Buddha preached in a manner that he could not pick up even one verse. It was so difficult for him to pick up. So the more difficult it was, the more he concentrated, the more energy he aroused in him to concentrate. So he listened, keep on, still he could not pick up. But all the time he's been concentrating what the Buddha said. And then towards the end, he understood what the Buddha said. Now he realized what the Dhamma is about. Then he became very ashamed of himself. And he did not want to go back to the father. And so what happened later on, he became a monk. He followed the Buddha. Then when the father gave dana, and then he came, then the father asked him, how is it that you have not come back? Why did it take so long for you to come back? Oh, he says, now, he says, I don't need that $1,000, that 1,000 gold coins. I have realized now what is more important in these things. See how the father, even that time, how the father had paved the way for this child. So this is the karma that the father had. So later on, this child also, because of this karma, the child also paved the way for parents. So from life to life, until the Buddha was born. And then, all his faithful disciples, his chief disciples, Sariputta, Moggallana, Kassapa, Ananda, all these were his closest disciples. Do you know that they have been born as brothers, as children, parents and children? They were together in certain many births before, lives before. In the story of Mahakashapa, Kassapa was the father of Sariputta and Moggallana for at least 2 births, these 2 lifetimes. And the Buddha has been the teacher of Kasyapa's son, like that. And so, if I'm not mistaken, the Buddha was also once the son of Kasyapa, Venerable Kasyapa. So like this, they were all within the family. Then later on, when they go round about, that is hard. When they gain the enlightenment, they come back again, family, and all paved the way. So this is the spiritual family. We have to learn how to develop this spiritual family. And don't worry what is about the future, the past. Learn how to live in the present. Learn how to build up these wholesome karmic ties. With these wholesome ties, you build up good friendship with one another. And the Buddhist concept of friendship is not only this lifetime basis, on lifetime basis, from life to life, from life to life. Therefore, it is important for us to learn how to fulfill our duties and obligations. In case there are some people who hate us, in case there are whatever they do, which is harmful to us, they hurt us, they blame us, we must know how to endure. We must know how to be patient, not to react. The more we react to this, the more we build up karma. That is what is meant. Hatred is not overcome by hatred. Hatred is overcome by love and love alone. This is the force of metta. When you give metta, then you will be able to give love. When people are angry, when people have hate towards you, hostile towards you. This is how you cut off the karmic things. We do not know what you have done in the past, but in the present, live a good life. Then your future will be good, will be better. Right. I think that is sufficient for this morning. And we shall round off with a few minutes of sitting. That you can keep your body in an upright position, but just relax. Feel the whole body relax. Relax your shoulder and shoulder joints. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe in and out, leave all thoughts of the past, what you have been thinking about, all your plans for the future. Just put them aside for the moment. Just observe the present moment as you breathe in and breathe out. Focus your attention on the breath. As you breathe in, you may mentally note both. Breathing out, mentally note do, both, do, both, do. Any thoughts, any distraction that arises in your mind, as soon as you become aware of it, mindfully return your attention to your breath. You will now bring your attention to your body, keeping your body in an upright position. Breathe in, breathe out normally. As you breathe in and out, just relax your body. Feel the whole body relax. From the top of your head right down to the tip of your toes. Just relax your body. That may this body be free from ill health, free from sufferings. May it experience calm and peace. May this whole body be free from ill health, free from sufferings. May it experience calm and peace. In the same manner, you will recall to mind of all your religious teachers, if you have any, wherever they may be, that may all your religious teachers, may they too be free from ill health, free from sufferings. May they have calm and peace. May all our religious teachers be well and happy. Now recall to mind of your parents, mother and father, all those who are living, wherever they are now. May all the parents be free from ill health, free from sufferings. May they have calm and peace. May all our parents be well and happy. In the same manner, extend your thoughts of loving kindness to all your brothers and sisters and all the other members of your family, relatives and friends, whoever that comes to your mind. May they all be free from ill health, free from sufferings. May they have calm and peace. May they be well and happy. Now once again return your attention to your body. Breathe in, breathe out normally. As you breathe in and out, just radiate out your thoughts of loving kindness in all the directions, above, below, and all around you. Fill this whole hall with your thoughts of loving kindness, that all who are gathered here, known or unknown to you, seen or unseen, may all be free from ill health, free from sufferings. May all experience calm and peace. Going beyond the confines of this hall to the whole temple premises, all the surrounding areas, covering the whole federal territory, the whole country, and to as far as your mental vibrations can reach, that may all beings, known or unknown to us, seen or unseen, all that dwells in the air, in the open space, on land, in the waters, may they all be well and happy. May they be free from ill health, free from sufferings, free from harm and danger. May all be well and happy. Just spend a few minutes as you breathe in and out. Just radiate out your thoughts of loving kindness in all the directions, that may all beings be well and happy. All beings be well and happy. Bhavatu Sappa Mangalam Rakkantu Sappa Devata Sappa Bhutanubhavena Sata Sutti Bhavantu Te. Bhavatu Sappa Mangalam Rakkantu Sappa Devata Sappa Dhammanubhavena Sata Sutti Bhavantu Te. Bhavatu Sappa Mangalam Rakkantu Sappa Devata Sabba Sanghanubhavena Sata Sutti Bhavantu Te. May all beings be well and happy. Now slowly return your attention to your body and slowly open your eyes. Be wide awake, calm and peaceful. Open your eyes and be wide awake. Mindfully relax yourselves. Please every day try to give metta every day. Give metta to all and radiate your kindness, thoughts of loving kindness to all, and then you will be able to become more happy. As you wish others happy, you also become happy. And then learn how to live happily and be able to associate with people. And then in this manner, because when there is metta in the mind, this metta helps to purify the mind, and it conditions many other good thoughts, wholesome thoughts to arise in the mind. And this is how your mind can become strong. And with the strong mind, you can confront problems, conflicts, whatever situations that you are in, so that you'll be able to overcome whatever suffering, whatever obstacles, and eventually pave the way for you to have the highest bliss, Nibbana, good health and peace. So.